Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, Ji Ayan Sangat Ji, and welcome. Sikh Channel are here today at the Paul Robinson Theatre in Hounslow to see the premiere of MISUSED TRUST, which has been created by Sikh Youth UK. Sangat Ji, they've done a lot of hard work to pull together this film. It's the first time something like this has ever been done. And आज उन्होंने press conference भी करनी है. हुन असी अंदर जाके देख सकते हैं Sikh Youth UK on the panel to talk about the film in more detail. हुन साडे नाल आजो and असी अंदर जाके गल करूंगे उहदे नाल. So Sangaji, I'm here with SWAT, Sikh Welfare and Awareness Team. They're also here supporting the film Misuse Trust. Let's have a few words with them to find out a bit about what they feel. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So Randeep, could you tell me a little bit about, you've seen the trailer, but just even the work that you do as an organisation regarding the topic of grooming, please?
Yeah. So basically grooming has been, it's not just a new thing. Grooming's been around for a long time. We grew up as youngsters and we went through this whole grooming thing ourselves, schools, colleges. This is so important to highlight. This is the first time it's been highlighted in this way. There's lots of organisations that have been talking about grooming for a while now, but this is the first time it's been actually made into a visual film. So it will really, hopefully, it will hit home. Grooming is one of those things where until you've been groomed, then once you've been groomed, then you're going to realise, actually, I've been groomed now. So prevention is the best cure. So this is prevention for your sisters, for your daughters, for your cousins. You know, when we were growing up, you know, we were trying to help every single person, and we realised that, you know what, we're not going to be able to help the whole world. Yeah. So my message from SWAT or personally for myself is that if you can look after your own family, your own cousins, your own sisters, your own street, you've done a lot. Yeah, because, you know, like I said, grooming is one of those things that, you know, you make a friend, and then you go out with this friend, and then the next day you wake up, it could be 6 months or 6 years, and you've been groomed. So it's such a process, you don't even know that it's actually happening to you until it's happened. So, you know, you might not be going to clubs, you might not be drinking, you might have your drink spiked by a girl who's connected to groomers. Yeah. There's so many scenarios that it can affect you and how it can affect you. So we all, as a community, we need to be aware of how it can, where it can, and just put prevention into place. And this is one of the biggest preventions that's been done up to today. You know, there's other organisations that do real great work, yeah, you know, with grooming and stuff. Yeah. But this is taking it to another level.
Thank you so much. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
First of all, we want to thank everyone for attending. As you can see behind us, there's a lot of logos on these banners. So we want to thank every single organisation on there and the ones that extras that ain't on there. NSYF, some of the other logos that aren't on there from the London teams, Birmingham teams, Northern teams, all the UK Sikh Bantik projects have come together to support Sikh Youth UK on producing this film. Like I said, the message is not just one single organisation's message. It's a Bantik Masala, this grooming, the taboo subjects in the community, drink and drugs, domestic violence, bullying, hate crimes on Sikhs. These are all taboo issues in the community. So we really thank all the channels for turning up and supporting us on this project. Today, this is a press conference about the film Misuse Trust. Today's premiere is in London. We're taking this across the world, but we will start that with the questions. But we want to thank everyone for attending the London premiere, and all the media here and all the organisations, especially the ones who have come here to support today, like SWAT, like Basics, like Sikh PA, and the channels, and NSYF. All the teams that have come, especially our London team, have put day and night into this to make the London premiere happen as well. So I'll open it up into the crowd for any questions.
So it started off just a couple of us getting together and saying that we want to make a movie to tackle sexual grooming, because something like this hasn't been done before, especially within a Punjabi community. And it literally began with a meeting probably about 4 months ago, following on from our Freshers' Fair. Sikh Youth UK put on a Freshers' Fair in early September, talking about sexual grooming and, you know, worries about going to university. And we were saying, how can we make this Prajad even bigger? How can we reach out to even bigger audience? And that's when Deepa Baji and I and a couple of other few of us sat down and discussed what we could do. How could we do something creative, something visual to tell the story and tell the dangers of sexual grooming. And it was a long process that took time, a lot of brainstorming, a lot of time and effort. But ultimately, it came down to experience of, meeting girls who've been through sexual grooming, working with them over the past, how many years. Sikh Youth UK have been tackling this issue for years, and eventually deciding that we want to tell the story of a young girl who's been a victim of sexual grooming in order to tell people about the dangers of what happens in these situations.
I just want to run on that. Basically, the idea, like Ashmeet Benji just said, it was a little visual. We see her as an actress. She's a student. And what we need to do is bring students and give them the platform. Over the years, what I've noticed is organisations have been there, but not to be too critical, because I don't want to make this negative, but we haven't given the next generation platforms or given them enough courage and confidence to say they can do this. So it's about getting it out there and giving them that confidence and the platform. If we don't have platform, our Godbrother stages are the only platform we've had for years. Yeah. Now we've got unis. Yeah, the prachar's been there. I can't talk. I've heard about sexual grooming and what's been happening to Sikh girls for 40 years. Organisations have been tackling this. There was organisations like Sher Punjab, SS, they've been doing this for years. Yeah, we've been brought up through these organisations. We've seen it. But at the end of the day, to have a visual impact that sits, it has to be the media. And what frustrated me is how people in the media, and even on social media now, how they put Singhs and Sikhi in a bad light. Yeah, every time we'll share, if a Singh's done a bad thing, ourselves will share it more than we would when someone's hurt one of our sisters. And this is the frustrating thing. So we need to put our Panth first, our brothers and sisters first, and move this visual image and put Singhs and Sikhi and the positive and the issues out there in a light where we know what's going on. We can do talks for years. People have done talks for years. And I'm not saying that should stop. That should continue. The prachar has to continue. But we have to do it through. We did a song early last year with Nirmal Sidhu, a singer, called Nashe. But within that, we showed the drink and drugs epidemic in Punjab, here, and the grooming. So it's really, really essential through all sources that we cover this angle, through politics, through prachar, through media, through any angle we've got. Our angles of bringing our students through we have to push them into prachar. We have to get them to put that 10% of time and their mint into Bantik projects. Is really essential.
Why is it that our daughters are targeted so easily? Where does this stem from? What are the real issues which are causing us to be targeted at universities and other places?
You've got a few in that.
It's a vulnerability, isn't it? I think one of the key factors in it is the vulnerability that they don't. It's like Deepa saying, when you keep kids in this protective environment, that they're not allowed to do this, they're not allowed to go out at a certain time, they're not prepared for the realities, they're not prepared for the attention they're going to receive, they're not prepared for the social situations they're going to find themselves in. So they don't have the skill set, they don't have the awareness to be able to navigate those social situations. Because we don't even talk about this stuff, like in our homes, forget about the channels, we don't talk about sex, we don't talk about drugs, we don't talk about clubbing culture or whatever it is. There's so many subjects that are completely off the table and taboo. So until we start sharing these stories, start talking about what the potential pitfalls can be, then perhaps, the future generations will be better armed to deal with this situation, because they'll have part of, that Britishness, that culture of Gore over here is part of us now. We have to accept it because we're here now. So we have to deal with it, right? I mean, this is the reality of who knows what we're going to look like in this country if we carry on living here and we don't deal with the issues of, our own nation, our own state, so we can have a container for our culture, our values, our worldview. If we don't deal with that, then we're going to carry on down this road, and at least let's try to protect the Sikh that are going to live here. So whatever type of environment they're in, at least they, like the Gore here, they don't go wild. Have you ever noticed that when you're at uni, the Gore don't go as mad as like some of the upper here, because it's normal to them. For us, it's not normal. For us, that's the first time you get that freedom. So you go completely off the rails, and it's very hard sometimes to find your way back.
Girls get targeted, and not only that, but why is our girls drinking so much? I mean, I was brought up in an era where the Sikhs and the Muslims were fighting a lot together, and the conversion of Sikh girls was very big. But in my age, we had a unity within your community, and you could go to people. And now what's happening is you don't have that. So if we don't have that community spirit. So what we're quick to do is point the finger at someone. Oh, their daughter's doing this. But why not educate people?
We've got battles between each other too many instead of unity. That's why this film's bringing the band together. You know, issues like Jagraj Baji, what happened with him, the Panth got together and we supported his fundraise for his vision in Amritsar. Look at this vision, the Panths come together. You know, like you said, that community spirit. The films, media, and working together, we need that spirit back. 100% I agree with you.
Do you have any positive experiences you can share with the work you are doing? Because you've obviously put the film out, but do you have, like, you've obviously got experience behind the scenes of positive influence that you have had on the community and families. Can you possibly share one with us?
Okay, on behalf of Sikh Youth UK, positive experiences I'm one of them positive changes. So I don't want to talk about me all the time, but I'm just like a prime example. With me, we're working with about 300 cases at the moment, helping people from vulnerable issues, not just drinking girls, not just thinking. After the premiere on Saturday in Birmingham, I'll give you a wicked example. A girl who's not into Sikh Youth came, watched the film. She came forward, she's doing psychology at uni. She wants to help set up a mental health team for us. That's a positive impact for our project.
So Sangatji, that was the press conference that's just finished. Hun Sari Sangat Andar on there to watch the film. And once again, Misused Trust by Sikh Youth UK. We're going to speak to them after the film to find out their views and what they thought and what can be done in the future to prevent this issue of grooming.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I just want to start off by saying thank you everybody for being here today. We're absolutely amazed by the amount of Sangat that have come, not only from London, but I know a lot of people travelled from far, Birmingham and across the country. So thank you so much for being here and supporting this project. It really, really means a lot to us as an organisation. We can't tell you how much we value you guys being here, so thank you again. And of course, thank you to everybody, all the Bandig organisations who supported this project. What we really tried to do with Misused Trust was find something mutual that would bring the Bund together, because we feel like nowadays that the Bund is so divided in so many different ways and so many different views. What could we do? What topic could we find for people to unite? And it took us some time to realise that it was actually current issues in Sikh youth. That was something that people really wanted to speak out about and something that people really wanted to hear about. So sexual grooming has been occurring in the Sikh community for about 40 years now. It's not something that happens once in a blue moon. This is something that's happening every single day, day in, day out, every single day, and it's not something that we should be afraid of speaking about. And what we really hope with this movie, with Misused Trust, is that people now keep talking about it. People now aren't afraid to speak about taboo issues, not just sexual grooming, but other issues in the film, so like domestic violence, alcohol, drug abuse. The list is endless. So somebody asked a question earlier today during our press conference saying what issues did you have to tackle? What were the biggest issues that you came across and had to face during this process? And of course, we know that a lot of things that you guys saw in the film are taboo issues. There are some really heavy scenes in there, things that might have been harder for you to see. Obviously, the film was rated 15 for a reason, as you guys can tell, because the content was quite heavy and quite intense. But on behalf of Sikh Youth UK, the only thing I can say in response to that is that this is just a watered down version of what actually occurs in these situations. So this is just a very small nugget of what actually goes on in sexual grooming gangs, of what goes on in a daily basis to our sisters, to our daughters, to our friends, to young vulnerable girls in the Sikh community. This is only a fraction of it, and it's amplified, and there are people in this room who may have been through it themselves, or I've had friends that have been through it, or people who've had to deal with these situations. And Sikh Youth UK aims to deal with these things, aims to tackle sexual grooming, domestic violence, drug and alcohol abuse, because we really want to make a positive change to the Bund. We really want to do something positive for our community, for the Sikh community. So when it came to the process of the project of creating Misused Trust, it began with a conversation between Deepa Baji and myself about 5 months ago now. And Deepa Baji turned to me and said, how can we reach out to the Sikh community on a huge scale, on a bigger scale, And coming from an artistic background, so as Vaji mentioned before, some of you know that I'm an actor and I write spoken word poetry. And I thought to myself, the best way for me to really connect to something is through the arts. And the arts are everywhere nowadays. So performing arts, music, TV and film. And so we decided that we wanted to create a film to tell the story of a young girl that has been through the process of sexual grooming, because we felt like this was the best way to reach out to people of all ages, the youth, but parents as well, so parents understand what occurs in these situations and how we can tackle these situations when they arrive. And so we agreed that we wanted to create a movie and tell this story to the best ability that we could. And that's how MISUSED TRUST began. First, to do the prajad, first to reach out, like I said before, to young people, to parents, about the fact that these issues are actually happening in our Qawm on a daily basis. And throughout the process, as we progressed, it became more than that. It became more about doing prajad. We realised that we have more to give. Sikh Youth UK, not only Sikh Youth UK, but us as a fund have more to give. These are people's lives that we're talking about. These are people's lives we're talking about. These girls have been through trauma. You've seen it yourself. You've seen a watered down version yourself of what actually happens. What can we do long term? What can we implement into the fund, give back to the fund to really, really help these girls' lives on a long term basis? And that's when the idea of the halfway house came up. So as you guys were coming in, you guys should have been given leaflets, or if you haven't, please do pick them up at the end. Sikh Youth UK now has the aim of opening a halfway house for our sisters, for not only victims of sexual grooming, but for those who've been through drug abuse, alcohol abuse, domestic violence, all sorts of taboo issues, and giving them a space, giving them somewhere where they're able to not only progress in Sikhi, because as you guys all know, Sikhi saves lives is the slogan of Sikh Youth UK, and Dipabaji really nicely put before that that's the slogan of our whole fund. Sikhi does save lives, and we need to believe in that, believe that through the power of Sangha, through the power of Seva, Simran, we're able to have a positive change, we're able to do something and give something back to the fund, to give something back to these girls. And so what the halfway house aims to do, the proposed residence is going to be based in Birmingham and offer temporary housing for up to 4 women at a time. The facility is going to host self-contained flats, consultation and treatment zones, prayer and meditation and exercise areas, as well as 24-hour security and multilingual staff. And what happens, as you guys know, this was a really happy story in a way, because the girl had Japneet had a lot of support from her family. She still had somewhere else to go. But we see on a daily basis that a lot of these people attached to family honour, attached to Punjabi culture and izzat, that sometimes these girls are turned away from going back home, and the shame is put on the girl rather than put on the person that's actually done it. So that's why we believe in this halfway house. We need to do something long term, do something practical in helping these girls recover, helping these people recover and find their way not only back to Sikhi, but giving them the confidence that they need in a non-judgmental environment to come back into society and live their lives as normal as possible. So Sikh Youth UK is really, really reaching out to the Sangat to please continue supporting the film. We have aims to take it across the world. Dipabaji has been talking to people in Canada, talking to people in America, because this situation doesn't only happen in the UK, it happens across the country, across the globe. And this is something that we need to keep talking about so we can continue tackling it and continue speaking out about it.
So Sangatji, I'm here with the character Japneet, who is actually known as Japneet Kaur. We've been wanting to find out actually for quite a while how she found it playing the role of Japneet. So let's speak to Benji and find out. Vaiguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaiguru Ji Ki Fateh. So Benji, you played Japneet Kaur. Please tell us, how was it for you to play such an intense role?
Definitely challenging is probably the simplest word I can use. It was a very long process. there was such a huge emotional journey as you've seen through the film. She experiences so many different things, and trying to capture them in such a short space of time was so hard. There wasn't any time to think. You had to literally throw yourself straight into it and put yourself in her shoes in that situation. And because of that, it was very emotionally draining. It was very mentally draining, time consuming. And it took a long time for me to recover from the process. Long nights, lack of sleep, like everything was quite draining in the nicest way possible, because we really wanted to capture this girl's emotions and capture this story the best that we could, and not try and get too attached to it at the same time. And that was definitely hard.
Well, I just want to say, Benji, you did a brilliant role, played such a great role. And obviously, I'd like to see more projects that Sikh Youth UK are going to bring forward for the Sangat to get involved. So thank you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So Sangat, I'm here with Benji, who played the role of the mother in the film MISUSED TRUST. As you on Benji na gal kar sakte to find out how she felt. Obviously, playing such an intense role as a mother, it must have been hard. But let's speak to Benji to find out. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Benji, I watched that film and I just felt, I've watched it twice now. My stomach, the second time, actually was in knots. And it's not that the first time it wasn't powerful enough, it was. But, you know, after seeing it again, like, it just made me feel really, just that horrible feeling inside that I want to do something. But you played the role of the mother. Please tell me, how did you feel?
Actually, when I been offered the role, मैं उन्होंने कहा कि मैंने पहला दास दो कि हैगा role दा. So when I heard about the role, when I read the script, then I said I'm ready to do it. And but when I was on the set, when we were actually acting, I've been really emotional. And it's really, I mean, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਦਿਲ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਟੁੱਟ ਗਈ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੁਝ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਸ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਈ ਫੇਕ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਸ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਈ ਮੇਰੇ ਦਿਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ I mean the girls out in the community, they are my own daughters. If it happened to my daughter, how would I feel, right? So I express my same feeling on the screen as well.
Well, thank you so much, Benji, and God bless you for playing such a good role. So, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So, Sangatji, now I'm here with Eshmeet's father. Obviously, Eshmeet was the main actress, who was Japneet. I'm here with her father to find out how Uncle Ji felt, obviously having his daughter playing such a big role, the main role in a film such as this regarding grooming. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So, Uncle Ji, tell me one thing. Eshmeet's obviously been studied in drama. And she's probably done several different things. ਜਦੋਂ Eshmeet ਆਈ ਸੀਗੀ and ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ, you know, mum, dad, ਮੈਂ ਇਸ role ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ and I'm going to be playing this role in MISUSED TRUST. How did you feel?
How did we feel? ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਜੀ totally surprised, totally shocked. ਜਦੋਂ ਫਿਲਮ ਦਾ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਆਇਆ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਹਨੇ ਇੱਕ monologue ਬੋਲਿਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ monologue ਆ ਜੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ graphically ਇਹਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਧੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਜੋ ਗਰੂਮਿੰਗ ਗੈਂਗਸ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਪਰੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਉਹ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਵਰਤਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬੜਾ ਜੀ ਦੁੱਖ ਲੱਗਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੁੱਖ ਲੱਗਾ ਕਿਉਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਧੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਵਾਲੇ ਆ ਧੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਾਂਝੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬੜਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਕਿ ਸੱਚੀ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਪਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਗਏ ਆ ਕੁਝ 20-25 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਬੜਾ ਸੌਖਾ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਸਲੇ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਦੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਬਾੜਨੇ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਗੋਰੇ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਸਵੀਪ ਇਟ ਅੰਡਰ ਦ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਗਿਲਟੀ ਆ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਬੜਾ ਡਰ ਜਿਹਾ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੋਇਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਕਿ ਅਸ਼ਮੀਤ ਇਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਰੋਲ ਕਰੇਗੀ ਤੇ ਗਾਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੈਰੀਅਰ ਕਿਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਣੂਗਾ ਤੇ ਗਾਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਕਿਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਅਸਰ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੁਝ ਇੱਕ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀ ਗਾਲੀ ਵੀ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕ੍ਰਿਟਿਸਾਈਜ਼ ਵੀ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕ੍ਰਿਟਿਸਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਸਮਝਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਅਸ਼ਮੀਤ ਨੂੰ ਟੈਲੈਂਟ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਹੀ ਪਾਸੇ ਲਾਉਣਾ ਸਹੀ ਪਾਸੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਵਰਤਣਾ ਬੜਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਅਸੂਲ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਬੜਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਕੰਮ ਆ ਦੂਜੇ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਵੱਧਦੀ ਆ ਦੇਖੋ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਲੈਕਚਰ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਸੁਣ ਲਈਏ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਆਪਾਂ ਗਰੁੱਪਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਬੈਠ ਲਈਏ ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਆਪਾਂ ਮੂਹਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਅਸਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਂਦਾ
So Sangatji, we really enjoyed the film Misused Trust. It's such a brilliant subject that they've obviously covered grooming because it is a big taboo subject. And if ਅਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ help ਕਰਦੇ support ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ ਪੰਥ ਨੂੰ, we're not going to move forward. It will be coming out on DVD fairly soon, so please look out for it. And I can say from me that my stomach really turned and I really felt it. So please look out for that DVD and please support Sikh Youth UK and continue to support Sikh channel as well. ਕੋਈ ਗਲਤੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੋਲੇ ਭੁੱਲਾਂ ਚੁੱਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਾਫੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।